to Jesus' parable of the Good Samaritan. For those of you who aren't familiar with the story, very briefly, a man was walking on the road from Jerusalem to Jericho when robbers came and overtook him, beating him and leaving him for dead on the side of the road. A priest walked by shortly thereafter and upon seeing him quickly went to the other side of the road and continued on his journey. After that, a Levite then came, saw him and did the same as the priest. And finally a Samaritan, who at that time would be considered an enemy of the Jewish people, showed compassion on this man, tended his wounds, took him to safety. What my friend found most interesting about that parable was not the compassion of the Samaritan or the indifference of the first two men. What she found most compelling was the road itself. And that struck me because she asked me a question. She said, what was it about that road that made the actions of the Samaritan such a phenomenon? What was it about that road that made the indifference of the first two men not only wise and acceptable, but the right thing to do in that situation? She asked me, who built that road? Who made those rules? Who constructed that road? And I'm reminded of that because when I think of that story, I think of Overtown. And I ask, what are we building then? What are we constructing? I'm not talking about a biotech park. I'm asking, given our considerable resources and talents, what are we building with the tools we have? Now, I understand that the university is trying to run a business. I'm no fool. I know how that works. I understand the system that I live in. I understand what it's founded upon. But what I don't understand is how that in a nation, in a world where wealth is only generated through the accumulation of capital and other assets, chief among those assets being land and capital, that we could, after acquiring land in Overtown, and then after acquiring the capital to build that facility through leveraging the poverty of the community, what truly baffles me is how that we could balk at the notion, the idea of signing a benefits agreement with these people. Yet, at the same time, we would rush to sign an agreement valued at some $20 to $22 million with the people of Coral Gables to delay, not to prevent, to delay the construction of a road through this campus. It doesn't make sense to me. What type of message are we as an institution sending? Are we vultures? Predators? Waiting to capitalize on the misfortune of others? Truly, you, my fellow students, did not come to an institution of higher learning to gain some insight in how to profit from another man's misfortune. Surely, you, the elect, you, the privileged, you who Dr. King would call our most trained, best educated, best equipped, best prepared troops, surely you must understand you owe a debt to society.
Get him, Jay!
Because in a city of millions who would do anything to trade places with you, in a city of millions who were not afforded the opportunity to 4 years of scholarship, in a city of millions whose dreams don't even compare to your reality, how could you turn your back on these people? As I look in the crowd, I see that the one person that could influence this situation for the better is not here amongst us today. That is President Shalala. That's all right though, because I certainly see some of her messengers here today. So I've got a message for the messengers. When you see her, please, on behalf of all the people here, all our comrades who couldn't make it, tell her that scores of undergraduate, graduate, legal and medical students, friends and allies to Overtown alike came together today here in this place and in one voice said, enough is enough. That while we stand together, we know we are strong, that we will not forsake our brothers and sisters in Overtown. We will not sit by on that road idly and watch the gentrification, the displacement, or other negative market externalities affect this area in such a desolate way. We can't do it. Because we know something. We know that while the road to Jericho may be a perilous journey, while the road to Jericho may be a harsh one, it is not one devoid of compassion. Not as long as we walk on it. Not as long as we still have an opportunity to shape it, to construct it, to mold it into everything you said it couldn't be, but we knew it could. Not as long as we still have that opportunity. Now, to my friends, to my fellow classmates, and those of you I may not know sitting in the audience, but particularly the students, please, I hope you understand, I'm not asking you to go out and be a good Samaritan. No, my question is this. When you leave here, when you acquire all the tools necessary to succeed in this chaotic world, what will you do with them? What will you build? What will you construct? What communities, what societies will you mold? I cannot speak for everyone here, but as for me, I know that I will use whatever tools I've gathered here, whatever knowledge I may have come across, and be a voice for the voiceless. I know that I will use whatever tools I have to promote the causes of those less fortunate who could, for whatever reason, not afford those same resources that I could. I will promote the cause of justice. I will promote these causes because I believe in them. I will promote those causes starting today. It begins in Overtown, and I will not rest until that justice is had. Thank you. Now, we did gather here for a reason. We could sit here and list our demands, list our grievances, but we know that is all frivolous and unless it goes straight to the top, unless President Shalala hears about it. So if you are with me, if the words that you heard today were more than just that, if they were words of action, words of a calling, won't you come with us to the Ash Building? Won't you come with me to President Shalala's office and let her know just how we feel? Before we go, I'd like to invite Mr. Keith Ivory of Power U, a good man who's been helping us with this campaign in Overtown. Give it up for Mr. Ivory, please.